Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. The XRP ledger continues to evolve, and there's a new amendment which, if passed, will result in an opportunity for anybody within our ecosystem to have passive income earning on the XRP ledger. Look at the headline here from FX Street. XRP ledger prepares for upgrade to allow token holders to earn income on chain. So I'll give you all the latest here. And also, there's a separate amendment, the Clawback Amendment, which actually has met the threshold for approval, which means that since that happened, which was earlier today, from this moment, as long as this threshold is sustained, then it will go live in 2 weeks. So I'll give you the specifics on that as well. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so this one's exciting. This one's very cool. So if this gets approved, we're talking about the Automated Market Maker Amendment. If this gets approved, then anybody within the ecosystem can provide liquidity and actually have a passive income earning on the XRP ledger, even though there isn't any smart contract functionality on layer 1 that's not required for this, actually. So let's get into some of this. Piece reads as follows. The XRP ledger is preparing for an upgrade that will introduce an automated market maker, or AMM for short, into the ledger. This AMM will act as an opportunity for XRP holders to earn on-chain income by becoming liquidity providers. The altcoins validators are currently voting on the proposal, and data shows that the consensus is 60%. And I'll pause note, it's actually higher, so I'm going to circle back around to some of that fact. I'll get you the latest. It's a little bit higher right now, but that's what it was at the time they published this. Anyway, piece continues. The XRP ledger is preparing for an amendment to its blockchain that will introduce a built-in automated market maker trading platform into the ledger. The AMM allows for crypto trading using liquidity pools in a permissionless manner. The proposal has gained support from validators since its introduction. According to Panos Mekras, founder of Enodos Finance, 20 validators have approved the XLS 30D amendment. The consensus is 62.86% according to data from XRP Scan. And again, like I said, I will circle back around to that. Automated market makers eliminate the need for order books, thereby reducing both the delay and transaction costs. The amendment will offer traders the opportunity to trade with the liquidity pool, thus making liquidity available irrespective of market conditions. Yeah, and so it's worth noting here that what we're effectively talking about is pairing up anything that's tokenized on the XRP ledger. Because, as I'm sure most of you are aware to this point, the XRP ledger does have the world's first ever built-in decentralized exchange, and so anybody can issue whatever asset they want on the ledger. But what you'll find is that most of these coins are not particularly liquid. XRP is sufficiently liquid. I mean, it's number 6 in market cap. That's not going to surprise you to hear that. But then there are a lot of other coins that frankly aren't, and so this would go a long way to ensuring that there is sufficient liquidity for any transaction, and it's a positive for anybody that does choose to jump on board. It's just an opportunity because, again, it's pretty hands-off from what I understand to this particular point, the way that it's designed. It is an actual passive income. And so here you have a post from Panos, who I think he's one of the more knowledgeable guys within our XRP community here, and he's published all sorts of stuff, including blogs. And just yesterday, he posted the following. An automated market maker is like a self-running stall at a market that always has items to trade. The price of items isn't set by any one person, but is determined by how much of each item is available. If lots of people want to buy a particular item and start trading their items for it, the AMM adjusts the price so that item becomes more expensive. If people want to get rid of an item and it starts piling up, the AMM makes it cheaper. This way, the AMM keeps the trading going by balancing supply and demand automatically without anyone having to manually set the prices. And then I came across this, which I think is a pretty cool way of thinking about this conceptually. There's a post from Ripple employee Neil Hartner. He's the senior staff software engineer at Ripple working on ODL. And he wrote, similar to my AMM vending machine example, which he posted actually this past August. Pitch idea: AMM physical vending machines. Insert money, dispense candy bar, price goes up. Insert a candy bar, dispense money minus fee, price goes down. Operator never has to refill machine because arbitrageurs keep it stocked. And so basically you can see, and that's a pretty good way to kind of conceptualize this, it does come down to supply and demand, of course. That part of it is that simple. It's just that it's the case here that with this, anybody can participate, and it is automated. And then there was also this. There's this long thing, and I'm actually not going to go through this whole thing. I actually thought about it, but I was like, this is probably too into the weeds for this particular video. But there is this thread from Panos dating back to August 30th last year, and it is fantastic. It does get a little bit more into the weeds, like I said, than I think we should get to in this particular video, and it's very long. But I reread it. I remember reading it back then at the time, and I reread it this morning, and there were two posts from this thread that I wanted to highlight because it has to do specifically with what this means, assuming this does get approved, what it would mean for anybody that's a holder of XRP. And so Panos wrote the following: the introduction of liquidity pools was a game changer for the entire decentralized finance market. These pools seek to address the issue by incentivizing users to provide liquidity in exchange for a share of the trading fees. And so that's it. You put up your XRP, and you get a share of the actual trading fees. And there's another one, like I said here. Yeah, check this out. He wrote, remember, the higher the trading activity, the more money you make from fees as a liquidity provider. And in hype/FOMO periods with big price swings, especially price bumps, the trading volume goes crazy. This means tons of money for liquidity providers. So this will be interesting. Now, I might consider giving this a whirl because I think it is one of those things where in order to understand exactly how it works, it's probably easiest just to jump in. It's the same approach I had to when I jumped into crypto in 2017. It was kind of on a whim, but I was like, well, I haven't really done research, but I'll just put in a little bit of money so I can see what it's like to get on the cryptocurrency exchange, make a couple smaller purchases, and go from there. So I'm thinking it would be interesting to give this a whirl, perhaps. But still, I'm very strict about the way that I invest. And so for me personally, almost all of my XRP is going to just remain in hodl mode. In fact, if anything, if I do want to futz around with this thing, I might play around with the idea of actually purchasing new XRP specifically for this. And if I do, I'll be happy to talk about that in the future. But I think in order just to see how it functions, like I said, it's one of those things where I think it's just going to be easier if you just kind of jump in and see how it works and see if it's something that you like. Now, as far as how close we are to getting this thing approved, well, here's XRP scan, and you can see that there are 23 yays, so that's 23 yes votes, and 12 nays, that's 12 no votes. And by the way, the default vote when it comes to new amendments is nay. So you have to proactively go in and change it to yay. So it doesn't mean that that many entities had decided, no, we don't want this. It may just be the case that they're still thinking about it, or they haven't done a sufficient analysis yet, but they still could. We do need to get to a total of 29, because in order to get an amendment passed, you have to have 80% plus one. That's what it has to be. You have to have 80% approval plus one more. And then that has to be sustained for 2 weeks. So assuming we do get 6 more than where we are at now, it would be 2 weeks from that point, which does mean in the coming weeks, should we get to that point, it's totally reasonable to think that we might have this thing actually active just within the next few weeks. We'll see how long it takes, but it does seem to be broadly supported. It's just, it is a high bar, and that's by design. You don't want to make it easy to be changing the very nature of blockchains, right? When people are relying on it for various things, it's supposed to be hard to make core changes to blockchains, and certainly the XRP ledger here. But still, it seems like this is something that actually is probably going to get approved. I don't want to jinx it here, but there's a pretty good chance that this thing is actually going to get approved, which I think will be cool as hell. So we'll be watching for that. And then there was also this XRP ledger clawback. This bad boy, it has hit the threshold. Only needed 29 yes votes. We're at 30 now. So now, this hit this morning. Now that needs to be sustained for 2 weeks from that point, and as long as we don't fall below that threshold of 80% plus one additionals, meaning 29 yeses, then it's going to go live. So what's the deal with this? Well, here you can go and get a good description of this from xrpl.org. It's very easy to understand, actually. Automated market maker, definitely more complex than the clawback, but check this out. And I remember, by the way, when this clawback discussion started, whenever it was, a year ago, I can't remember exactly when the discussion on this started moving forward, there was concern because you're talking about transactions being rolled back effectively, and people were having concern that this would make it possible to roll back XRP ledger transactions so that it would make the XRP ledger less trustworthy, and that couldn't be further from the truth. There is no clawing back XRP transactions, period, and there's actually really good reason for this, and it's optional, so check this out. For regulatory purposes, some issuers must have the ability to recover issued tokens after they are distributed to accounts. For example, if an issuer were to discover that tokens were sent to an account sanctioned for illegal activity, the issuer could recover or claw back the funds. So there you go. And then they note here, clawback is disabled by default. To use clawback, you must set it to, and then it gets a little bit more technical. Not necessary to go further than that for the purposes of this particular video, but just know that if you're creating a token on the XRP ledger by default, that is turned off. If you want to turn it on, you can, and that would be publicly known. So it's not a problem. There would be certain applications where you'd want that functionality, and perhaps a whole bunch of others where you don't. It's just additional functionality, which can bring more developer activity to the XRP ledger. So all this is good stuff that's going to help with the long-term viability of XRP and the XRP ledger. We want this stuff, okay? Pretty cool, right? Let me know what you guys think about it, but I think this is pretty exciting. These are some cool developments here. I'm really hoping that the automated market maker does get approved, and my for fun guess is that it will at some point. We'll just see how long it takes, though. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.